Hello and welcome to Demian Allan's Astrology and Tarot channel. Please do subscribe to the channel and press the like button if you like this particular video. And this is going to be the tarot for November 2021. And I'm using the Rosetta tarot. It came out a few years ago. And I'm using the first operation of the opening key spread to look at this, which will look at the four elements that we have here, which are fire, water, air, and earth. So we turn over the cards. The first card that we see will give a flavouring from each element of what to expect over the course of November 2021. So let's get started by looking at the first element, which is fire, of course, which tends to talk about the past a lot here, the past actions, and how we initiate stuff. And this is an interesting card here because this is the Emperor, and the Emperor is usually designated to Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. And I just noticed from an astrological point of view that Mars has not been in a particularly good state, particularly over the last 6 weeks. It's been in Libra, which is in its detriment, so Mars cannot function properly. Actually, on the 31st of October, Mars goes into Scorpio, so this doesn't necessarily reflect the coming month of November. It really reflects where we've come from, and Mars cannot make decisions properly. It is not good in Libra, and the Emperor, which likes to be direct, which likes to move things forward, is unable to do that, and therefore we can feel that we're just in the throes of indecisiveness from our leaders, our governmental institutions, the people making decisions, the people at the top. So Emperor is a very difficult kind of energy to work with because it can be, the best description is slightly passive aggressive, really, in its energy. So we have to be a little bit sort of careful with it. But this is where we're coming from. And again, we're in the fire pile, and the Emperor is essentially a fire card. Mars rules Aries as well as Scorpio traditionally. And so it finds comfort in the fire pile here, but again, Mars has not functioned because it's been Libra. So all sorts of issues have come to play from that. It makes it quite difficult. So this is where we're coming from: passive aggressiveness, energies that have Martian aggressiveness, not in a positive way, but in a negative way, causing upset. But also not being direct, not seeing things through to the end here. So let's look at the emotional aspect of November. Okay. So this is an interesting one. We've got the Five of Swords here, which is typically the word that's associated is defeat. So this is kind of interesting. This is how we feel as a collective: defeated. Five of Swords. Fives are always unstable or bring in instability to the situation. Swords are always about obstacles and oppositions and issues that we may encounter. I like to think of this combination as overanalyzing the emotions on a very basic level. And again, we're talking from a collective point of view. It's a difficult energy to work with. And in a water pile, it's an air card. And in a water pile, in terms of elemental dignities, this does not work at all well. Far from it. It's challenging. It doesn't go anywhere. It creates steam. So this is a very, very difficult kind of energy that we're working through. It's an Aquarian card, interestingly, this. And when you're working with the Aquarius energy, you're always working with the collective. So this is very challenging on the emotional aspects of what's really going on and how we feel collectively and where we all kind of are. And swords can really kind of bring in fears as well, fears that we can feel like we're out of control, or fears that are manipulated in the mind an awful lot, and then reach down to the emotional aspect here. So this is a very, very challenging energy here that we've got. It does work well with the fire and air next door to it, but I have to say it's in that water element, so it does not work well. So again, this is not showing me at the moment that we've got solid foundations that we're working from at all. In fact, I would say that it's working from the base of fear. Okay, but the obstacles or the air pile here is going to be interesting. And it is. Because it's the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a Taurian card. And of course, we've got that Uranus in Taurus that's causing the havoc, squaring Saturn. And the air is about the obstacles that we must overcome. And the aspect of teaching, training, education in November is going to be an obstacle here. So you look at universities, colleges, schools, nurseries, all of that sort of come under this. Also, agriculture, Taurian cards here. So food, particularly agriculture, where our food comes from here, an obstacle in November 2021 coming up here. It's an earth card, the Hierophant, and it's in a air element pile. Again, elemental dignities do not work well. So again, this is not particularly what I would say an advantage with this combination. It's a challenge. The Hierophant needs to be able to see things clearly, step back, to be objective, to hand other people the knowledge that it gets from wherever it gets it. And in this circumstance, it's unable to do that. The analytical comes very strongly across here. When you get air and earth, it's dust essentially. So you've got to be really careful here. Again, it doesn't work particularly well. So our obstacles are already challenged here with where we're going and what we're doing here. Okay, let's look at the final pile. Okay. So this is the sort of future pile as well as the earth pile to do the more materialistic elements of this. And here we have the 9 of discs, which is Venus in Virgo. And Venus in Virgo is not a combination, it has a natural affinity, although it is an earth card and it's in an earth pile. So that's quite good in terms of the economy generally. But Venus, the arts and stuff like that would come under question. Virgo is a health, so again, health sector come under question. But the symbolism about this card is gain, and but you need patience in order to gain from it. You need to take your time. It's not something you can do slow, really quickly and impulsively. You need to take time and be quite strategic in your approach to finances in the future. Again, this is from a collective point of view, but also I feel it's really important to bring it to the attention that even from an individual point of view, this is a time to really look about the long game rather than short term, particularly from financial points of views. Because I think that by doing that, that's where, metaphorically speaking, the riches are in a way. And 9 of discs is the end of a particular cycle, and so what we have here is we have fire, air, earth, and earth. What we don't have is water, and when we don't have water, you don't have fluidity. You don't have things changing from one or morphing into other stuff. So it's quite. It's almost almost staccato. It's got that feeling of things are regimented and not flowing here. So it's a very kind of bogged down in financials, the practical, the knowledgeable, but nothing that's going to really kind of grab our attention and make us go, wow, this is a fantastic month. It's going to feel like, yes, I think education is going to be a big thing that's going to be in the news, or an obstacle that we've got to get over. And as I said, there is this fear that's sort of bubbling up, but we can come out of this. There is a gain to be got out of this particular month if you put planning in. If you plan ahead, not short term, plan ahead will give you the gain that you need. This is not a month for action orientated. It's a month to settle, to make sure everything's in order, and just plant those seeds for the future. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that video, and as I said, please subscribe and please like the video, and thank you for watching.